Hello and welcome to your Wednesday One show live on BBC One and iPlayer with Ronan Keating.
Yes, and with Roman Kemp. Should we just do this Keating and I'm Kemp, because otherwise it could get quite confusing.
Very, very confusing.
Yeah.
The Ronan and Roman show, I've been waiting for this one. No other man I know does breakfast radio, one show in the evening.
Yeah. If we do fall asleep, it's no one else's fault.
You wake me if...
Yeah.
Great. OK, Nikki's also here with Watchdog Wednesday. What's happening, Nikki?
Yeah, thanks, Ryan Rowe. That's going to help me out a lot. Tonight, the airlines leaving disabled passengers stranded on arrival for hours on end. And those dreaded passport delays. I've got a tip that might just save your holiday. Plus, the summer sales hacks you won't want to miss.
Thanks very much, Nikki. Also tonight, the RHS Flower Show, Tatton Park, kicked off in Cheshire today. Richie Anderson is there for us. How's it going, Richie?
Oh, it's very exciting, and that's because I'm going to be taking you inside one of the show's highlights. I'm talking about the Radio 2 and the One show's Grow, Sow and Show Garden, which has been designed by Joe Swift. Ari Anderson's also going to be joining me as well to talk about some of the gardens to look out for.
Thank you, Richie. And joining us in the studio to tell us about his latest role in the Jane Austen-inspired drama Sandlton and the new Death in Paradise spin-off, it's Kris Marshall.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. How's it going? Now, remember, if you want to join in the conversation as well, please do get in touch in all the usual ways.
Yes. Now, Chris, I'm right in thinking you're a big football fan, right?
Yeah, pretty big, Aston Villa.
Well, you'll be delighted to know that we're actually kicking off the show talking all things football. OK, because it's the Women's Euros quarter-final tonight, England versus Spain. You've been enjoying the tournament so far?
I have, actually. I watched some of the Northern Ireland game.
Good,
There's not enough goals, though, is there?
Not enough.
8-0, 5-0.
Yeah, 8 wasn't enough. No, well, look, we're actually going to be getting all the latest pitch-side action from Alex Scott in just a moment. There she is. Hi, Alex.
Hey, Al.
Hello.
What's going on?
Very nice, very nice. Before that, though, you may remember, I unfortunately do, last week, Lioness midfielder Jill Scott was on the show, but she was interested in speaking to someone else, not me. Turns out she's a massive Boyzone fan.
Isn't everyone?
I have to be honest, they said I was getting interviewed by RK today and I was hoping it was Ronan Keating, so I'm sorry, Ronan.
I'll see you later.
Sorry, buddy. Sorry.
Here's what happened when the other RK surprised her with a quick call ahead of tonight's big game.
Hey, Jill.
Oh, it's Ronan. Hi. This is brilliant.
It's so good to see you. I fell off my chair last week. When I heard you on the One show, I was gutted I wasn't on, but when you said what you said, oh, man, I was so chuffed. Thank you.
No, do you know what? I've actually been listening to the So Good album. Honestly, so I still listen to it all these years later.
That's amazing. Thanks so much. Look, I'm equally excited to meet you. It's an absolute honour. We've been watching the progress of you and the team. It's been incredible. But the question on everyone's lips, Jill, is football coming home?
I hope so. We've obviously got to make sure that we're just doing the nation proud. Obviously,
you are.
Putting in each performance, and hopefully at the end of the day we can sit here and be like, it's been a successful tournament.
Good on you. Look, thank you so much. Best of luck in all of the matches. And thank you so much for taking the time out of the busy training schedule.
No, it's fine. You've made my tournament now. I'm happy.
Oh, Jill, stop. See ya.
Right, thanks, Ronan. Bye.
Best of luck.
Oh, Jill, stop it.
I hear she's a big Spandau Ballet fan as well.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure she is.
OK, let's now go live to Alex Scott, who is waiting patiently for kick-off at 8 p.m. Hey, Al, what's the vibe in the stadium? What's happening?
Hello. Well, it's another sold-out stadium tonight, and I'm not surprised because England, they've been playing so well, but this is going to be a real test for them this evening. The Spanish team, yes, they're missing one of the star players, Alexa Putellas, but this England team have been scoring goals for fun. They're yet to concede, so they actually go into this one as the favourites. But I'm a bit nervous. I'm not going to lie, guys, I'm nervous.
Why not? Alex, thank you so much, mate. I think 10-0 or anything less, isn't that right, Chris?
10, 10, 11.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going 2-0
Scoring
England.
for fun.
2-0 England. Al's going 2-0 England. Hey, well, look, thanks so much, mate. Enjoy the game, and don't forget the coverage starts straight after us right here on BBC One.
All right, still to come, Kris Marshall exclusively reveals what the new Death in Paradise TV spin-off is likely to look like. But first, it's Nikki with this week's Watchdog.
Thanks, Ronan. Now, for many, the summer getaway has started, but you may have seen headlines like these detailing the horrendous problems disabled passengers have had. But if all the complaints to us are anything to go by, this could be just the tip of the iceberg. Already this summer, we've seen chaos at airports, baggage delays, long queues and cancelled flights. Countless passengers have been affected, but I've been particularly struck by the number of complaints we've received from disabled people. Some have been trapped on planes for hours without any of the assistance they need to get off. Providing special assistance to disabled passengers is primarily the responsibility of airports and can be pre-booked. That's what Vanessa did when she flew from Newquay to Manchester Airport in May. She has a spinal cord injury, which means she needs help getting on and off the plane. So when you landed, tell me about what happened.
As you will know yourself, the disabled people are always the last to get off.
Yeah.
And we just sat waiting close to an hour and a half.
Vanessa needed to use an ambulift, specialist equipment that helps passengers with reduced mobility. But that's not what turned up.
Two guys arrived with this chair. They asked me to get into it and they started to tip me back. And I have a real balance problem. So I started to scream and had a bit of a panic attack and was crying. I just thought they're going to kill me getting me out of this aeroplane.
How did you get off in the end, Vanessa?
The ambulift arrived.
Finally.
That was about 2 hours after we'd landed.
From my own experience of going on a holiday, I know it ain't no picnic flying when you're disabled. And according to official figures, it's getting worse. The Civil Aviation Authority recently found that the number of disabled passengers experiencing access issues at airports has risen to its highest point in 5 years. And we've heard from a number of unhappy passengers left stranded at airports.
It was really shocking. We were just left to sit there. It was embarrassing.
Cabin crew said the assistance isn't here. You're left to feel like your needs actually don't matter.
What makes all this worse is that none of it should be happening. UK airports have clear policies about the service disabled customers should receive. Take Manchester Airport. It subcontracts its service to ABM Aviation, which has committed to providing all pre-booked special assistance within 20 minutes of passengers landing.
We waited for over 3/4 of an hour.
Martin, who became disabled following a stroke, and his wife Karen, who also has reduced mobility, pre-booked assistance ahead of their flight from Tenerife to Manchester Airport. But the wait was only the start of their problems.
The worst part was when we arrived at the terminal building because there was no wheelchairs and no staff.
And at that point we felt abandoned. I couldn't have got to passport control without a wheelchair.
It's dangerous.
You feel a bit discriminated against. We don't want to be like this. We wish we were like everybody else. And sometimes you feel a bit of a nuisance, to be honest.
As the regulator, it's the Civil Aviation Authority's job to ensure consumers are treated fairly. Paul Smith is its Group Director of Consumers and Markets. Flying when you're disabled has never been straightforward, but it seems to be getting worse. Why is that?
I think we've seen across the aviation sector that there are some recruitment challenges at the moment to bring enough people back into the industry as the level of flying has recovered. But some of the incidents that we've seen are just not acceptable, and we've written to the airlines and to the airports to really make it clear how unacceptable that is and that it needs to improve really quickly.
Manchester Airport told us it's sorry that the people we spoke to had an unsatisfactory experience, saying it takes special assistance requirements very seriously and will continue to work to ensure customers receive the best service possible. And ABM Aviation told us while it deeply regrets where it's fallen short of standards, it's experiencing more special assistance requests than its pre-pandemic peak. To increase capacity, it's recruiting more staff and additional ambulifts are due shortly. We know it's been a tough time, but if you're happy to take our money, then you need to make sure that disabled people aren't just an afterthought. And waiting on a plane for 2 hours, that just cannot happen. So when I interviewed Paul in the film we've just seen, I asked him if the CAA had the power to do anything about this situation. He said yes, so I gave him a call earlier today for an update, and he said he was pleased that all the airports were engaging with the CAA, but he wants to see more action and won't hesitate to act if these kinds of problems persist. So we'll keep an eye on it.
Talking of problems continuing, how's the Passport Office doing?
It's not our first radio on Watchdog, passport delays. Something we've talked about a lot here on Watchdog, and the complaints keep coming. 30 viewers have been in touch with us this month alone to tell us they've been waiting more than 10 weeks. Now, the Passport Office has told us its staff are working tirelessly to sort the backlog. It insists most passport applications continue to be completed well within the 10-week guidance.
Now, we hear they're hiring more staff to help with the record demand, which is brilliant. So is there anything people can do to speed things up?
Yes, they are. For those who haven't yet applied, the Passport Office does offer a premium and fast-track service for a fee to guarantee you get your passport quicker, but it can prove tricky to get an appointment. Now, new appointments are added all the time, but when we checked this morning, there were no appointments for the premium service available and a total of 22 for the fast-track service at offices around the country, but not until the 10th of August.
So, I mean, what's this trick that you've been saying you got up your sleeve if you've already booked a holiday then, Nicola?
No, I've been talking about this trick, haven't I?
Yeah.
The Passport Office told us that if your application has been with them for more than 10 weeks and you can prove you're due to travel within a fortnight, you should call the Passport Advice Line and they will prioritise your case at no extra cost. Do not pay to upgrade if you've already applied.
I hear you've got some summer sale hacks for us as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, like never before has it been more important to grab a bargain. And there's plenty of price comparison sites out there like pricerunner.com and supersales.co.uk to help you find the best deals, even on sale prices, which is cool. And here's a good tip, get your school uniform now.
No, please. It was going so well, and now you mentioned the school word.
Yeah,
you still have your school uniform, don't you?
Brilliant. Brilliant.
I know. That's brilliant. I know. But there are lots of deals to be had out there for school uniform. M&S has a 20% off sale this month. Many of the supermarkets also have great deals. There may be more deals later in the year, but it might pay to pick up that uniform before it all runs out. I know it's not cool to talk about school uniform right now, but as ever, I will let you know if you have something you'd like us, you let us know if you've got something you'd like us to look into. Contact us in all the usual ways. Email us watchdog@bbc.co.uk or you can tweet us at BBC Watchdog.
Brilliant, Nikki. Thanks a million. Some great advice there.
Yeah, many of us, though, are also breathing a sigh of relief that rain has arrived, not just for us, but for our gardens as well, and just in time for the last of the big RHS flower shows.
Yep, we've had Chelsea, Hampton Court, and today the latest kicked off at Tatton Park in Cheshire. And right at the heart of it, we've got our very own garden.
Yeah. Before we go live to Richie Anderson, who's there right now, here's the designer of the garden, Joe Swift, to show us how it's all come together.
Earlier this year, I was asked by the Royal Horticultural Society to design and create a sow, grow and show garden for BBC Radio 2 and The One Show. We've now got just 3 weeks to turn this patch of earth at the RHS Flower Show Tatton Park into a garden bursting with flowers, fruit and vegetables.
I just want to inspire everyone to get sowing and growing, whether it's in a garden, on a balcony or even on a windowsill.
Helping me bring my vision to life is landscaper Gareth Wilson.
Joel's got a great design here and we're looking forward to the challenge of the job.
While I've been planning my garden, loads of you at home have already taken up the challenge to sow, grow and show, with some pretty impressive results. I'm keen to incorporate some of these homegrown beauties into my design, along with reflective pools, a cutting garden for flowers and a potting bench to pot up the all-important fruit and veg. But before I can get planting, I need to measure out my garden.
The only way to do it is do it on site and tweak it, and it shouldn't be so rigid that you can't play around with it.
We want it to look natural as well.
It's an organic, make it up as you go.
The big toys are brought in to excavate the land before the walkway is laid, and timber boxes are assembled to help support 2 Zelkova trees and a cornice, specifically chosen to provide dappled shade.
The trees are beautiful, but one of them is stressed, even more stressed than us.
Just a touch, just a touch.
It's hot and it's trying to take in as much moisture as possible.
With a little extra TLC, the trees will soon be in tip-top shape. And with the heavy lifting done, we can now get on with the fun part. Planting the flowers and veg.
So I've got 2 veggie areas. There's like an allotment bed over there. Everything's in neat lines. But here, this is more of a potager. You could grow these herbs anywhere, really. If you haven't even got a garden, you've got a sunny windowsill, you go for things like chilies and basil. This is a cutting garden, so there's a lot of perennials here, a few annuals, and you can literally come out here, put a bunch of flowers together, take them into the house, and they'd look fantastic together.
All the plants in my garden can be bought from garden centres, but here to show off their homegrown efforts are some One Show viewers. Eric has brought along his lettuce, sweet corn and tomatoes, and Shireen has brought some flowers she's grown with her 5-year-old daughter, Isabel.
I started planting and I didn't know that I could actually grow anything. I thought we've got to show what we've been doing because I love growing cosmos, and the sunflowers have just been really good this year.
You could easily grow these in pots, containers, on a balcony, in a front garden. That would look great in the annual border over there.
Eric has a question about the recent hot weather.
How are people to look after their vegetables in the garden?
A lot of people don't water thoroughly enough, deeply down to the roots. You're trying to draw the roots down into the soil. And also watering early in the morning before the heat of the day, because a lot of that water will evaporate. Well, after 3 weeks of serious hard work, the BBC Radio 2 and 1 show, So Grow and Show Garden, is finally ready to enjoy.
And I'm delighted with the way it's come together. It's as colourful and vibrant as I imagined. I love the dappled shade from the trees, and it seems Isabel does too.
So what's your first impressions of the garden, you two?
Beautiful, isn't it? I really love the meadow effect. It's quite nice.
Yeah, and I love the way, kids just engage with the space and then they get into the plants. I'd just like to thank you all, really. It looks absolutely amazing.
Thank you for having us. Really enjoyed it.
It's been a privilege taking on this challenge, and I'm thrilled with the results.
But just as satisfying is those of you at home who have joined in the fun and got into sowing, growing and showing. And I hope that anyone who comes to this garden not only enjoys it, but also is inspired to get planting.
Oh, look at that wholesome content we're delivering. Lovely, isn't it? I mean, Kris, I hear that someone in your family's been giving it a go as well.
Yes, I've been helping my daughter out with her tomato plants. Well, I say tomato plants, there is now only one after I snap one of them.
Oh, no.
But, yeah, she's forgiven me. There's 4 good green tomatoes.
Good to hear.
So
good to hear.
We'll be all right.
Lovely. Now, Tatton open today, and Richie's there now. Richie, how have people been getting inspired by the garden?
Well, do you know what? For a debut at a flower show, the reaction has been blooming marvellous, pun intended. And what I love is when you walk into our fantastic garden, you are greeted by these beautiful globe artichokes, which look very striking. And you won't be able to see this on the television now, I don't think, but we've got some new residents. The bees already making themselves at home, which is just fantastic to see. So I'm going to take you for a look around, then we're going to start at the potting table over here. So we've had volunteers here all day who've been giving out tips and advice, and it's just been great to see people engaging with the garden. We've got seats in here so you can just come and take it all in. Now, Kris, I just heard you talking then about your tomato growing woes. Fear not, we've got you covered at the One Show. They're for you. I'll pop them in the post. You can have those. You can say you grew them as well. Nobody will ever know. So I'm going to take you now to the heart of the garden to meet some of the stars of the BBC Gardener's World. So we've got Joe Swift, who designed the garden. We've got Richie Anderson, who's been here filming all day today and yesterday in this heat. I don't know how you did it. Joe, this looks incredible. Are people getting the bug in here for growing?
Totally. I mean, as soon as we opened it, people just flocked onto it. They sat on the seats and engaged with the garden, which was just so lovely to see. And that's what it's about. There's not sort of printed documentation everywhere telling you how to grow. It's about just surrounding, so immersing yourself in a garden space and then thinking, wow, I could do a little bit of that at home.
But what happens to the garden when the show finishes? Will it live elsewhere?
Yeah, all the flowers are going to go to the NHS, so they're going to be moved, dug up and moved, which is great. And these benches, which have been a great success, are going to be recycled and they're going to live on after too.
Oh, that's fantastic. Eric, what is the theme of Tatton this year?
Well, this year, Tatton's really focused on sustainability. You know, the designers have been using materials that have been reused, recycled, and sort of greener choices. So that's definitely apparent. And also quite a lot of growing of edibles, actually, in with the ornamentals, which has been great. So, yeah, really good.
We mentioned you've been working very hard, filming for Gardener's World. There's a special tomorrow evening. What can we expect from that, please?
You can expect a packed show, let me tell you. But yeah, we've been looking at the young designers. Tatton's about the new talent coming through, so it's really important. It's their contest, so I always get excited about that. We've also as well been, there's a new feature about front gardens, so small spaces and what you should be doing in them. So that's what's been really key. And of course, the marquee.
Oh.
Got to be in that marquee. New plants. Nick's been very excited, you know, about that.
Get me in that marquee. Very quickly, Joe, a highlight at Tatton.
Well, I love the children's allotments.
Yes.
Yeah, every year the children come here and they just put on, there's so much humour and you can see the enthusiasm. And I can remember the little kids' garden I did in my primary school that, you know, that got me going in the first place. So
Fantastic.
It's lovely to see.
So if you want to come, you can. It's open until Sunday. Tickets are still available. If not, don't worry, Arit's here. BBC Two tomorrow night, Gardener's World, and she'll make you feel like you're actually here. So don't worry about that. And keep sending in what you've been growing as well, because we love to see them, and you're doing a fantastic job. Isn't it lovely here? Fantastic.
Oh, thanks so much, Richie. And look, good news now for fans of a period drama. Sandlton is back on our screens on Friday. Such a loyal following. The Sandlton Sisterhood, so they call themselves. They petitioned on Twitter to get it recommissioned.
Yes, here's a taste of what we can all expect. Very good. Now, Kris, as we said, the show has a really loyal following. Were you surprised how the fans took to social media to get the series recommissioned?
I was amazed, yeah. I mean, you know, when we got cancelled, which was quite galling, you know, I just thought that would be it and it would be over. And then suddenly it became a massive hit in America, and through social media, the Sandlton Sisterhood sort of galvanised themselves, and they did these amazing things. They commissioned this huge sand mural by a renowned sand artist on the beach where we film, and they sort of just, you know, they were relentless, and you know, after about 3 months, we got involved and lent our support, and we got 2 new series out of it. It was amazing.
Oh, fantastic. And look, it's got all the elements for a perfect period drama, thanks to, it's like a relatively unknown author as well, Jane Austen.
Yeah, it was sort of her unfinished book. She died while she was writing it, which is a bit unfortunate. But she wrote 13 chapters, and the amazing Andrew Davis and latterly Justin Young sort of adapted, you know, the storyline in the vein of Jane Austen.
And I mean, talk us, you know, what can viewers expect to see from this brand new series of Sandlton?
So the second series is sort of 9 months after the first series. We've moved on from the big fire at the end of series 1 and the death of my younger brother. So things are not going brilliantly. But you know, the town itself is thriving. It's never been more popular, and the army arrive, and it sort of just basically covers those sort of main, you know, Austen themes of love and loss, and you know, and young ingenues and flawed men, really.
Have you always wanted to be in a period drama?
Yeah, I mean, I did the remake of Dr. Zhivago, but that was about 21 years ago, many years ago. So. Yeah, I mean, it's been brilliant. I love the costumes more.
Yeah, I was going to say anything to wear a ruff like, or anything like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the costumes are brilliant.
I could see you in a period drama.
I mean, I'd love it.
Yeah, you'd be good.
You'd be good, yeah.
I'd get food down it within a day, though.
No, the music and the costumes, as you say, are amazing. But you had a problem with your costume.
Yeah, well, yeah, I did, yeah. Basically, I said to our costume designer before we started shooting, I said, I want it slinky. I want my costume slinky so I can strut around, you know, give it the full, you know, Austen.
You want to feel yourself,
yeah, no, with the top hat and all that kind of stuff. So, unfortunately, they were a bit too slinky because I used to rip my trousers weekly. I mean, literally, I was banned from bending over about 3 weeks into the shoot because I would literally go, it's gone again, it's gone again.
Oh. Was it full rip or was it just a little bit?
It was not a, well, it was a full sort of back to, I mean, really.
Yeah.
You really need to know.
Don't need the details. Bro, what are you thinking?
I just want to know, can he get away with it sat down?
No, it was a rip.
Yeah, amazing. Hey, well, look, also, of course, we have to talk about it. Fans of Death in Paradise are going to be very excited to hear that your character, D.I. Humphrey Goodman, he's getting his own spin-off show. Now, talk to me about Beyond Paradise.
Yeah, so this is a really thrilling, you know, we've been talking about it for a while, but then COVID happened, and the show, Death in Paradise, the show is so successful still. So, but Tony Jordan, who's the brilliant Tony Jordan, wrote a couple of scripts, and we got the spin-off, and all fans of Death in Paradise will, you know, it's kind of very similar in its vein. So, you know, you know, it's sort of the main themes are the same, but it's very unique as well. So it's we're going to film it, I think, down in the southwest in Cornwall.
Very
so
nice.
it's going to be paradise, but it's going to be a different sort of paradise.
Any famous faces cropping up that we might know?
Well, I mean, apart from myself,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
None as of yet. No, but watch this space.
Oh.
Can you tell us anything about the storyline at the moment?
So we're basically following Humphrey and his girlfriend Martha's sort of journey, you know, as they move in with the mother-in-law down in the southwest, and his new role as the detective inspector of the sort of local constabulary. So.
Okay.
Very good.
Very exciting.
Lots of fun.
Well, Kris, thank you so much for coming in. And don't forget Sandlton on Friday at 9 p.m. on ITV. And Death in Paradise fans, you'll be pleased to hear as well that all 11 series are available on iPlayer.
Yeah, now just time for some of your messages. Kicking off, message for Chris. Christine from Huddersfield says, that Chris was great. That Chris was great in Death in Paradise and is looking forward to it returning.
Great.
Jesus.
Very, very nice as well. We've got Kelly from Kent who wants to say a big hello to Chris. She said that she loved watching you as Humphrey in Death in Paradise and wants to thank you for bringing him to life so magnificently.
Well,
she
thanks,
says
Kelly.
that she cannot wait for the spin-off.
Naomi writes, thank you on your segment on disabled passengers whilst flying abroad. I experienced some of these issues with being a carer for my young mother. She's in a wheelchair and needs assistance. That was before COVID. Thanks again for highlighting this.
Oh, very nice. And Teresa's written in, she says, just brilliant. Love the row double act.
There you go. That's it.
Quite like that. Well, look, it'll be a while until Martin Kemp and Ronan Keating take over, so there we go. That is actually all we've got time for tonight. A massive thank you, of course, to Kris, and I want to say a big good luck to England. Come on.
Yes, I'm back tomorrow with the stars of the film Where the Crawdads Sing, Daisy Edgar-Jones and Harris Dixon. Bye-bye.